scripture. They say the Bible isn't for us, but I beg to differ. More history than any textbook they give us. They gave us Bible, but the doctrine was to keep us feeble. I read the scripture and it sounded like my people's story. Four corners of the earth, that's where we scattered to. Strip identity and culture, give us false guides. Eastern body, Western mind, we've been brainwashed. Across the Atlantic, we in servitude. Hate our own skin, hate our own kin. But when we try to unite, they going violence in. And then they make the weakest link turn to informant. And then they feed us all this poison and we dormant. Gain the whole world and lose your soul for it. I've been tempted, but I fast to keep them off me. Oh, I keep them demons off me. I keep them demons off me. I keep the weapon on me. I keep them demons off me. I keep the weapon on me. Divine protection on my life. No harm shall come against it. No harm shall come against it. Never, never. No harm shall come against me. No weapon shall not prosper ever, ever, ever. No weapon shall not prosper, never, never, never. I keep the demons off me. I keep the demons off me. I keep the weapon on me. I keep the demons off me. I keep the weapon on me. Divine protection on my life. No harm shall come against it. No harm shall come against it. Never, never. No harm shall come against me. No weapon shall not prosper ever, ever, ever. No weapon shall not prosper, never, never, never. Spiritual warfare, real thing. I'd have been in so many dark places. How I'm supposed to be the light when I can't even see? How I'm supposed to love others when I ain't even free? Out of everybody else, why you choose me? You ever been so woke you wish you could go back to sleep?
Shalom, Israel. It's your boy New Breed coming through with another live stream. If you like that track right there, that's from artist Shy, S-H-Y. And you can find her music at New Breed Music and Motivation. Also, it's available on all other platforms, all right? Her album is called Soul Purpose. And Blood Before Dishonor. That's the name of her artist name, I believe. Shy, Blood Before Dishonor. But if you watching Shy, if I got anything wrong, go ahead and correct them in the chat. But that's a powerful track right there. And the song is actually called Spiritual Warfare. And that's right in lines of what we're talking about this evening. Because accepting truth in a world full of utter confusion and chaos, there's a lot of spiritual warfare that comes with that, a whole lot. And we got to support each other's music, man. This is the spiritual music that's going to lift us up and keep us on a high vibration. So shout out to Shy. Today we got a very powerful live stream in store. We got a lot to talk about, brothers and sisters. You know, there's a lot of news that's fluctuating on right now, and I got a lot of sources to go to just to cut through all the tension, the lies, the propaganda, the agendas. I mean, there's so much to cut through. And I'm hoping that this live is a interruption in your regularly scheduled program to get some of this spiritual medicine. Because if you're feeling confused out here, if you're feeling a little bit disoriented, if you're feeling a little bit sad, a little bit withdrawn, if you're having these emotions, instead of going to Big Pharma and taking prescription pills, hopefully these type of live streams can help you in your walk and you can continue on that narrow path. And this can act as medicine. And Lord knows, I myself got to read the scriptures and watch other brothers and sisters breaking down what's going on, real-time prophecy for me to have medicine for myself. Because we all going through it. We all going through it together. All right. But we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. I know the whole world is talking about Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, whether or not he shot her in the toe or not. You know, so we're going to interrupt all that for a brief moment. Here's a news flash. Everything on mainstream media is set up. All right. It's all fake. The world is but a stage. All right. Everything is being acted out. If this man shot this woman, he'll be in jail. All right. Let me just put it out there like that. If he shot Meg Thee Stallion. If Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion, he'd be in jail. That's just common sense. The rest of it is just a court of public opinion. Because I heard, I had a few people ask me about that. It's all fake. All of it's fake. It's all a distraction. Every time you see these celebrities doing stuff like this, it's a cry out for attention. Because I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of these celebrities are miserable because they're on the wrong side of history. They made the wrong decision to keep the people distracted. They made the wrong decision to go on the side of the Baphomet. They made the wrong decision to choose Satan over the Most High. So they're going to do whatever they can. Hey, look, they sold for attention. So they're going to do whatever they can to drum up attention. All right? They feel like any publicity is good publicity. So that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with the celebrity gossip. Anyway, all in all, brothers and sisters, we got a very powerful lesson today. I'm going to be going to some sources. Y'all know how we do on these Friday night lessons. If you joining this live stream, make sure y'all mash that thumbs up button. It allows YouTube to send those notifications out. We got quite a few sources to go to, but we're also going to be opening the lines up this evening. And when we open the lines up, I want to hear people's struggles with accepting the truth. Number one, if you're having problems accepting the truth based on the opinions of others, if you're having problems, I'll be here to coach you through this critical transition period in your life. All right. That's what I'm here for. I'm nothing more than a servant. If you would like to be coached through this awakening, accepting the truth of your identity, as far as the Bible, accepting the truth of what's going on in this system with all of the lies and all of the delusions that people have, just accepting what's true. Even if it's something that you may deem as strange in your mind, and you're just realizing that the truth is stranger than fiction. If you need help being coached, feel free to call in. Also, if you've been persecuted for speaking the truth, you've woken up, you know what's going on, and you've been telling people left and right what's going on. If you've been persecuted and you feel like, you about ready to turn back, you done walking this narrow path, you about ready to turn back because you tired of the persecution of speaking the truth or living the truth. If you're having that issue, feel free to call in and I can coach you through that transition, because trust and believe, I've been there and I totally understand where you at. But before we do, man, I got to shout out Ice Cube. I got to shout out brother Ice Cube, man. Oh, man. That's the first thing we got to go into. Y'all know I did a video a few days back reacting to Ice Cube's political stance. I got an update from that, because after that video was aired, a lot of social media personalities took to the web. They took to various platforms and they tried to utterly discredit and shame Ice Cube. They tried to say that he chose Donald Trump, and they began to start a smear campaign against this brother, which I knew that was going to happen, because he totally went in on these celebrities, how these celebrities are just taking Democratic side. So he was bound to ruffle some feathers. He was bound to piss some people off. And I gotta play the clip of Ice Cube clapping back on the news when he was interviewed by by Chris Cuomo. I just gotta play Ice Cube's response, and I gotta react to it before we get started, because that brother right there, he's holding it down. He's holding it down, because the media does things like this. Every time somebody is speaking logic, truth, and facts, what they'll try to do is they'll try to come in and confuse the public. They'll try to twist up what somebody says. These media outlets spin the story. They'll put false titles up in order to spin the narrative of what was actually said. And we got to definitely address this. So this interview is on CNN, all right? It's on CNN. And this was just a couple days ago, all right? Now I'm going to play Ice Cube's response to everybody who was basically saying he chose Trump when the man clearly said that he ain't on either side. He's about the betterment of his people. But let me play this clip here.
Anything about him, and you probably do, you know, he started his career rapping in defiance about police presence and the realities of inner city life. And he got political with his songs as well recently during the Trump administration, most recently in 2018. Here's a taste.
Arrest the president. You got the evidence. That is Russian intelligence.
Now we see a shift. Now he wants to work with President Trump. Here's what the president had to say most recently about Black Lives Matter.
The first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, I said, that's such a terrible term because it's such a racist term. It's a term that sows division between blacks and whites and everybody else. And it's a very bad term for blacks. But they were very angry. It's a Marxist organization.
And let me stop there right quick. Now, there's not a lot of things I agree with when it comes to these politicians, but I absolutely agree with what Donald Trump just said. All right. Matter of fact, out of their own mouths, and I'm speaking of the representatives or co-founders of Black Lives Matter, they stated that they were trained by Marxists, which we're going to go into that source a little bit later. And we're going to talk about Marxism and break it down. But I totally agree with that. All right. And it's the absolute truth. It is what it is. But let's continue.
With all that going on and how the president continues to speak about there being no systemic inequality, it's no shock that Ice Cube got some heat for deciding to work with the Trump administration. He wants to deal with it. I want to understand it. So should you. So here is Ice Cube on Prime Time. Thank you for taking the opportunity, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Chris, your lead-ins are a little misleading.
How so?
Well, the Platinum Plan is not my plan. I came up with the Contract with Black America, and I didn't run to go work with any campaign. Both campaigns contacted me. Both campaigns wanted to talk to me about the Contract with Black America. One campaign said, we love what you have, but let's really dig into it after the election. And one campaign said, we love what you have. Do you mind talking to us about it?
Now that was clear. That was clear what this brother just said. But let's continue to listen how they try to spin the narrative until they find out they can't spin the narrative. Hey, brother Ice Cube, he checked him off the break. You know, he don't care about that. Hey, what's going on, brother? Hey, brother, how you doing, brother? Hey, no, your leads were misleading because this is what they do. You know, they really come after your intelligence. They really put it to the test. And I got to say, this brother, he's holding it down.
And that's what I did. So I didn't run into nobody. And so that was real misleading to me.
Well, I didn't say you ran to anybody. I said that you had taken a pivot.
Well, you said I ran over to the Trump team instead of the Biden team. That's just not true.
But you are working with the Trump team instead of the Biden team, and people are giving you heat for it. What do you say to them?
Well, I'm willing to work with both teams, but I'm just working with whoever.
And I'm glad that brother kept his patience just now, because he just clarified that he didn't run to the Trump team. But, you know, that was the mechanism that was put in place once Ice Cube started talking about the empowerment of black people and what black people are going to get out of this up and coming election. That's when everybody want to spin the narrative and be like, oh, Ice Cube flipping. All the celebrities started flipping because none of them spoke anything like Ice Cube spoke in regards to actually lifting our community up. So that mechanism was put in place. Oh, if you ain't Democrat, you got to be Republican. See, we got to get out of that. How brainwashed are we to the point where we think if you ain't on one side, you got to be on the other? Whatever happened to people who are free-minded, people with independent thoughts? You understand?
Whoever is willing to work with me. So The Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the contract with Black America. That's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very broad problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power and I'm gonna speak to them about our problems.
Now, let me point out the fact that this brother is focused on the wealth gap between whites and blacks. He's focused on the wealth gap between blacks and everybody, pretty much. Not even just, let's not make this a white and black thing. When it comes to every nation, every race, black people are at the bottom, totally at the bottom. And that's what he's focused on. His focal point is the wealth gap, all right?
Specifically, I'm not going there talking about minorities. I'm not going there talking about people of color or diversity or none of that stuff. I'm going there for Black Americans, the ones who are the descendants of slaves. And that's what I'm going to talk to anybody who's in power with that. So
he said, man, he just laid it down. He said, I'm going to speak on behalf of the descendants of slaves, not minorities, because we already know that there's all kinds of minority groups. Anybody can be determined to be a minority. All kinds of races are determined to be minorities now. He said, look, I ain't come for minorities. I'm talking about people who are descendants of slaves. We're talking about the wealth gap.
if anybody got a problem with that, it seems like a personal problem.
Well, here's the problem, and it is very personal, as you know, for a lot of people of color, because they'll say, well, why would you pick Trump when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality?
I'm not picking nobody. He's the president.
But why do you think he'd want to do something for the community when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality?
I don't know what he want to do. I just know what the man said. I know what he said to the country. I've never met Donald Trump. So I don't know what he's going to do. I just know what he said he was going to do. So both of them have a plan. Both of them say they're going to do something. And who knows what's really going to happen after November 3rd.
And that's a fact right there. He's saying, look, I'm not putting my trust in either candidate. And see, at the very least, what's going to happen from all of this with Ice Cube's plan is people going to either accept the fact that these politicians are not here for us. If they do not adhere to any of our demands, because Ice Cube is a representative, if they don't adhere to any of our demands, it's going to prove to our people that we cannot rely on Democrats or Republicans. And he's making that very clear. So after this election, our people would know without a shadow of a doubt that politics is just not the answer for our people. Everything we got to do, we got to deal with it internally. All right, let's finish this up.
Nobody knows from each side. We're all hoping that candidates keep their campaign promises. So that's just it.
So let's look at it this way. I think that you're right to be skeptical. Let's start with the Democrats, because even though there is a traditional connection between black voters and the Democrats, you could also say you've been let down or forgotten by Democrats in a lot of situations that would have mattered. Then you say, all right, so then what makes one side better than the other? That's where you get in trouble, which is, do you really think that Donald Trump can be trusted as much as you could trust Joe Biden?
I don't think I'm not trusting any of them.
I'm not trusting any of them. Straight up. What is he not understanding right here?
Just going by action. That's all I'm going by. I'm not going by words. I'm not going by rhetoric, not going by media spin, not going by none of that. You know, I'm not on nobody's team. I'm not on Team Blue, not on Team Red.
So then I have that wrong.
I'm an independent person, and I believe that's what Black people need to do, is become independent, and we need to get something for our vote. You know, that may not happen, but it's gonna happen.
It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I look, if I had brought you here to fight with you, you would have known it. What I'm saying is, I think I did get it wrong, and I want to make sure I get it right.
You got it wrong.
So saying you're working with the Trump team is wrong. What you did was, when they asked to talk to you about it, you said yes. If Biden had asked to talk to you about it now, you would have gone to them the same way. It's not about you choosing anything. It's you working with everybody who's got a chance of doing anything.
I'm working with whoever's in power. Yeah, I'll work with both. Whoever's in power, I'm going to work with. So whoever wins, they'll hear from me.
Okay, so I'm glad you came to clear it up. So Ice Cube is not with the Trump campaign. He's just giving his ideas, and anybody who wants to do something with him, fine. Do you believe they are doing anything with your ideas?
I believe, they looked at the contract with Black America and they updated their plan, but it's their plan. I have my plan. My plan is broad. It goes beyond the public sector. It goes into the private sector, banks, even the movie industry. So we got to deal with a lot of different, companies, corporations, and even government when it comes to solving this problem. I believe it's a bipartisan problem. I believe it's.
Now, what he means by a non-bipartisan problem is that Democrats and Republicans should be solving the problems that's going on in America. Just like you got wars that Democrats and Republicans come together for. Anytime there's some type of huge deficit involving Congress and getting certain approvals and acceptances, they have to come together. So right there, Ice Cube telling you, I don't think, I think this problem right here is in this country in general.
The bipartisan problem when it comes to the issues, when it comes to blacks in America and what's going on. It's not a Democrat problem. It's not for them to solve. It's not for the Republicans to solve. It's for both of them to solve. They do it when it comes to debt ceiling. They do it when it comes to getting us in wars. They seem to come together when it's something that really affects America. And I don't think nothing affects America more than the situation that Black Americans find ourselves in. This country is coming apart at the seams, and it's not going to come together after January 3rd, no matter who's the president, unless we deal with this wealth gap.
You have the economics. All of it extends up.
Now, guess what? Star in the Morning owes Ice Cube an apology. Little Scrappy owes him an apology. Roland Martin owes him an apology. And every last single one of these celebrities owe Ice Cube an apology. Because straight up, I'm going to just put it out there. This brother has money. You understand? For him to worry about the wealth deficit speaks volumes. This man don't have to want for no money. These celebrities are quick to clap at somebody and say somebody's canceled. Oh, Ice Cube is you can't cancel somebody who actually got love for the people. You understand? Because look, this man ain't got to speak out about wealth gaps and all of that. It shows you how brainwashed and lost the general public is. And we got to use logic right now. And the worst that can happen in this situation is it's going to be proven that the politics are not for us. Straight up. Now we got more to go to. And I noticed that's what the media does in general. Every time it's a story, anytime somebody speaks anything that is logical, anytime there's a voice of reason of any type, the media always is going to come and sway public opinion in one way or another. This land is full of confusion, brothers and sisters. Full of confusion. Even when we're looking at this covert 19. Yes, I said covert 19. Like a covert military operation. When we think about covert 19, you got about, let's say, 50% of the population who totally believe everything that they see on the news. They believe everything on mainstream media, and they are nervous wrecks. A lot of these people are destined to fall by the face of a syringe. They're bound to fall by the eye of a needle because they believe everything they hear and see. They're totally lost, totally sleep, totally brain dead to what's going on. And then you got 40% of the population who don't know what to believe. All right? They don't know what the hell to believe. They're utterly confused. And it's because they've heard so many opposing opinions, firing from all directions. So much disinformation and misinformation where they don't know what the hell is going on. All right? And some of those 40%, they're just totally afraid of whoever is behind the scenes. Some of those people may know that something is just not quite right here. Something just not right. This is not all the way adding up. But I'm going to go along and I'm just going to follow where everybody else is going. So you will have 40% of the world who just follow along with the other 50% who are lost. And then you got 10%. Those 10% is people who think like myself and others. All right? Not only do we see what this is, but we know exactly why it's happening, and we can piece it together in prophecy. And a lot of you are a part of that 10% as well. Now, the 10% gets tricky. That 10% gets tricky because out of this 10%, these people have to deal with the most warfare here on this earth. We have to deal with the most persecution. We have to deal with the most isolation. We have to be ostracized the most because we can see it directly for what it is and we're not confused. And in this day and age, logic makes you stand out like a sore thumb. Logic, being sane, actually having sanity in these days of chaos make you stand out like a sore thumb. So now you got people who are weaponized coming against you. Now you got people who are just watching you. Now everybody in your neighborhood got you under the microscope. Some of it is good, some of it is bad. Some people are looking to you to lead. Some of you brothers and sisters who are watching this chat right now, people in your neighborhood are watching you. When you walk out your door, they're seeing a light in you. Sometimes it's a positive reaction and sometimes it's a negative. The ones who see it from a positive aspect, when everything go down, trust and believe they're going to be looking towards you. Thank you for the super chat, fam. I appreciate that. The ones who look at it from a positive perspective, when they see you, when everything go down, they're going to be looking towards you for leadership. They're already looking at you for leadership. And as the Most High's people, it is your responsibility. We speak a lot about targeted individuals, but unless you take the lessons that was learned from your time of isolation, from your time of persecution, from your time of being molded and groomed, if you don't learn from that and apply it to your life, it's just faith without works. You know, you got to apply it to your life and begin to help others and enlighten others. Even y'all just sharing these videos. Even y'all just thumbing these videos up and making sure they spread. Y'all showing y'all family members these type of videos that got raw and uncut information. That is doing your part as well. Just supporting your own is doing your part. But this 10%, we gotta really begin to sound the alarm. Now, we're gonna go into some news about this covert 19, right? We're gonna go into some news, right? We're gonna go to CNBC News. We're going to CNBC News because listen, the news finally have to address all of the people who have been blowing the whistle, sounding the trumpet, and making it known what's going on with this quote unquote virus. The news has to address the people. They have to address the so-called conspiracy theorists now. They have no choice. All right. So I'm going to play a little bit of this, of them creating this documentary. This was aired not too long ago, and it's called Why People Believe COVID-19 Conspiracies. It's called Why People Believe COVID-19 Conspiracies. And this was on CNBC News. Let me just play a little bit of this for y'all.
Now that the sheep are gone, if you haven't seen Plandemic,
I think this is all planned by the Democratic Party.
Do you believe the numbers in the news that's being reported by the mainstream news media?
You've been brainwashed.
You cannot escape God, not even with the mask or 6 feet.
He's blown the lid off the COVID scandal.
the scamdemic.
There's not enough to make this a pandemic. This is a planned-demic.
YouTube, Facebook, I mean, all these different companies do not like what you're saying.
And if any of you are in the deep state, you're going down with it.
COVID-19 has taken over our lives, but it hasn't been around for very long. Scientists have been studying it in real time as the world collectively goes through a traumatic, world-changing event.
What we do know is, obviously we know it's a coronavirus. We know that it's a strain that partly came from a bat, but it's mixed with something else. And we haven't nailed down exactly what that animal is.
So on the face of it, that's not very reassuring. It's killed more than 500,000 people, but we don't even know exactly where it came from.
Now I want you to pay attention to the energy of everybody in this documentary. I want you to pay attention to how frantic they sound. I want you to pay attention to the type of music they playing. I want you to pay attention to what these people are saying, just for a brief moment. And I just want y'all to put in the chat, what type of energy that y'all think they're trying to project to the people? All right. What type of energy do you think they're trying to project to the people through this particular documentary on CNBC? I want you to listen a little bit longer here.
As a result, conspiracy theories have spread right alongside the virus. And for companies like Google, Facebook, and Twitter, long-standing questions about how they should handle misinformation on their platforms have never been more relevant. Thousands of years ago, people thought epilepsy was a magical, divinely given disease. But around 400 BCE, the Greek physician Hippocrates, or one of his contemporaries, wrote that epilepsy has a natural cause, and its supposed divine origin is due to men's inexperience and to their wonder at its peculiar character. Men continue to believe in its divine origin because they are at a loss to understand it. And 2,600 years later, we are still dealing with that kind of thinking.
The advantage of saying false things is they don't have to be true, and so you can make them nice, easy, pat stories that are really comforting to believe, and that's what makes it.
Oh my God, you can make them like stories, and oh my God, you can just make them like, I don't know what's going on. This is crazy.
Really difficult to fight back against because you're trying to argue against a really simple, easy to understand story that fits your beliefs versus this much more complicated story that isn't going to.
It's just so complicated, I don't understand.
Give you an easy answer.
In places like Brazil,
there's no easy answer whatsoever. It is no.
Venezuela, and the US, while there are some leaders promoting a science-based approach, many politicians and people in power are actively promoting misinformation.
We have it totally under control. It's one person coming in from China.
This cycle that we're doing is not stopping anything. It's not preventing the spread.
Oh my God, it's not stopping anything. We gotta prevent the spread. I don't know. It's not doing anything. I don't get it. Oh my God, what's going on here?
Locking down doesn't work.
Here's my evidence.
Locking down just doesn't work. Here's my evidence. Here's my evidence. Hydroxycut.
I get a lot of positive calls about it.
In a recent study that's now in preprint, Cornell professor of government Sarah Krebs examined how Americans are handling COVID-19 misinformation.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, what you just heard was a whole lot of different information mashed together. Instead of this documentary clarifying whether or not it's real or fake, because if so many people are believing the conspiracies, you need to talk about how it's real and prove it, right? You would think that's what they would be doing. But no. What you're getting is so much information that it's going to confuse the people. Listen, the Bible refers to this place, America, as Babylon for a reason. As Babylon. Now let's look up the word Babel real quick. Let's get the definition of Babel. All right? Babel. Talk rapidly and continuously in a foolish, excited, or incomprehensible way. You hear that? Let's repeat that. Talk rapidly and continuously in a foolish, excited, or incomprehensible way. That's exactly what you're hearing on the news. Babble, confusion. I said this once, I'll say it again. Confusion is the media's number one weapon. It is Satan's number one weapon to destroy the masses. Listen, the Most High God said, I'm not the author of confusion. These people just promote confusion. Let's look at similar meanings. Similar meanings to babble. The verb, prattle, rattle on like a rattlesnake. Gabble, chatter, jabber, and watch this word, Twitter, and go on. Twitter is actually in the definition of the word babble. So now you see that the social media websites is designed to confuse you as well. Yes, Twitter. Everybody got Twitter fingers. Everybody putting all this information out. Twitter is designed to cause confusion. All right. Also, the second verb for babble is a flowing water making a continuous murmuring sound. Burble, murmur, gurgle, purl, tinkle, and plash. And that's all it is. A continuous murmuring sound. When you turn your TV on, only thing you hearing is a continuous murmuring sound. So I've gotten to the point where the veil has got so very thin that when I walk down the street and I'm looking at people, I can totally tell what person is watching what news station just by looking at them. I'm like, that dude right there is watching CNBC. That dude right there is nervous. He sprayed that cart down about 30 times. That dude right there, he's watching Fox News. That lady right there, oh yeah, she definitely watching CNBC. Yeah, she watching CNBC. Ain't no doubt about that. I mean, I could just look at people and be like, man, y'all, you've caught up in the battle, in the confusion. Now we got to go to a few scriptures here. We got to go to them scriptures. 1 Corinthians 14:33. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. The Most High God is not the author of confusion. A lot of people who claim to be Christian and followers of Christ, followers and those who claim that they follow the Most High as well, they show a form of godliness. They pray. They say, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. They say all of that. But these are the main people walking around terrified. These are the main people walking around scared. And if they're not scared of catching a virus, they scared of some vaccinations. The Most High gives us the spirit of peace, not confusion. 2 Timothy 2:7. Consider what I say, and the Lord give thee understanding in all things. The Lord give you understanding in all things. Christ said, consider what I say. Consider. If you're sitting around and your head is not on a swivel because of what's being shown on the news, that means you lack understanding. The Most High help you to understand all things. Yes, some of these things may be perplexing to us. A lot of these things are perplexing to someone who got some sense. Listen, a feeling that the righteous have been feeling the most is just being perplexed. A lot of us are in total awe at the lack of common sense. We looking around like, what is going on? Why is everybody so confused? Y'all don't see that what this is? 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit, whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are going out into the world. Now, when this scripture says many false prophets are going out into the world, it's talking about anybody who can speak in public domain. Anybody who's giving out misinformation and disinformation is a false prophet. They don't necessarily got to be in the pulpit preaching. All right? Anybody out here who's spreading fear, lies, propaganda, and all of the above are false prophets. Anybody teaching you to serve idol gods, false prophets. Anybody telling you to serve yourself and seek a higher consciousness instead of turning to the Most High, false prophets. All right? Now watch this. How do we deal with confusion? Because I know that some of us may have been growing weary in this walk. Because if the whole world is going left and we going right, it can be a little bit disparaging and it can be discouraging as well. So how do we deal with it? How does the Bible tell us to deal with this? Instead of conforming, what do? Because listen, it all starts up here with the mind. How do we think? Let's go to Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think of these things. Think of these things. Think of things that are pure, true, honest, stable, logic. Now, how do we do that? Listen, when you walk out your door at night or during the day, anytime, look at nature. Nature makes sense. And I know that sounds simple. I know that sounds so very, very simple. But all God's creations outside of confused human beings right now, everything makes sense how the world operates. Look at the blades of grass. Look at the rain. Look at the animals. The cycle of life. The animal kingdom. Y'all be shocked and appalled how much I sit here and watch Animal Planet. Y'all don't think big tough new breed sit up there and watch puppies and kittens and all that. But no, yes, I do. I do. I enjoy looking at puppies. Newborn babies. Pure. Good news. Don't y'all remember when the news used to show panda bears being born? Don't y'all remember that? Let's take America back to the golden age. Remember that? Don't y'all remember when they used to show you like monkeys giving birth, or, somebody gave birth to 10 babies, like somebody had quintuplets or something like that? Don't y'all remember when things had some morality, like some good news came on? Nowadays, brothers and sisters, you have to seek good news. You literally have to strategically go look for good news. You got to go look for things that are pure, things that are just nice, things that are pleasant to the eyes, things that make sense. You got to look for it because this world hides it. Let's go. Psalms chapter 119, verse 127. Therefore I love thy commandments above gold, yea, above fine gold. Those commandments keep you sane. You got to love the Most High's commandments because his commandments is what keep us safe. Now, every time that I say law, statutes, and commandments, people get afraid. People start thinking, oh, here we go. Oh, man, here he go with this militant stuff. Oh, here we go with keeping laws. I don't know if I can do all that, man. I was with you until you start talking about some laws, bruh. Listen, let me put it out here for you. Laws written of in the Bible are actually very pleasant when you keep them. Very pleasant because, listen, you'll quickly find out that every law given is actually on your behalf. Every law given keeps you safe. If you follow God's dietary laws, you can avoid high blood pressure, heart attacks, strokes from eating unclean foods. If you keep his rest days and his Sabbaths, you won't drive yourself crazy, and you know when to shut down. The Lord gave you a schedule, a physical schedule, when to relax and shut down your mind, when to not stress anymore, when to take a day for yourself. And that day, that Sabbath day, lines up with everything. Your whole circadian rhythm is connected to this earth. Your circadian rhythm is connected to the planet. And when you shut down on the Most High's rest days, then you are in complete, utter alignment with the Heavenly Father. And it's a beautiful feeling. It gives you strength to continue. So that's the importance of honoring his Sabbaths. It's all to help you. When the scriptures tell you not to wear a whole bunch of fabrics mixed together. You know, back in the day when them old pimps used to go to the club with polyester suits and they got cotton, polyester, everything mixed together. Listen, that damages your skin. You understand? That makes you smell bad. So everything is like for you. All the civil laws given, how to treat your brother, honor your neighbor, treat people how they would like to be treated. All of these kind of things. That stop people from getting their boots smoked out here because people getting their head bust because they don't know how to treat each other. When they tell you not to mess with another man, wife, and all that, look, all that stuff keep you safe. All that stuff keep you from getting your head cracked out here in these streets. It all works in your behalf. So when I talk about laws, I'm not trying to scare you away. I'm trying to help you to realize that God Almighty put a structure there for you. All right? Let's just make that clear. John 16:13. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whosoever he shall hear, that shall speak, and will show you things to come. And will show you things to come. See, John was telling us that Christ will make everything evident and apparent. And the Bible tells us also that Christ is the same yesterday, today, and the day after. Ain't nothing confusing about that. His word from back then sustains to now. So when you weigh everything through the parameter of the text, you can't get confused watching the news. You just can't. Now, we got more sources to go to, y'all. We got more sources to go to. I want to go and speak about how suicide numbers have raised since COVID-19. We got to talk about this because 5 months ago, I remember the news airing that suicide numbers would go up 50%. I remember watching that and I was like, what the hell? That's interesting. Why would they predict such a thing? And then after watching a very recent news broadcast as they're speaking on how they inclined, I said, oh, okay, that makes sense. So now I'm going to go ahead and play this clip and react to it. And this source here is from WebMD. I'm on WebMD right now, all right? And here, let's hear Dr. John White, MD, speak. All right, if you in this live stream, mash that thumbs up, y'all. We going into the sources, and we got more show to go. All right, let's go.
Pandemic, and in some ways, it's only been getting worse. My guest today is Dr. Christine Moutier. She is the Chief Medical Officer for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Dr. Moutier, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Dr. White, for having me on.
Let's start off with some sobering statistics. 48,000 people died of suicide in 2018. 1.4 million attempted suicide in 2018. What's your reaction when...
Let me go back some, y'all. Let me go back some. I don't think that was the beginning. Bear with me.
You're watching Coronavirus in Context. I'm Dr. John White, Chief Medical Officer at WebMD. We have a mental health pandemic as well as an infectious disease.
Whoa, he said...
I'm Dr. John White, Chief Medical Officer at WebMD. We have a mental health pandemic as well as an infectious disease.
He said we have a mental health pandemic as well as an infectious disease. I think what Dr. White meant to say is we have a mental health problem that happens to be this pandemic or pandemic. Because I think this is more mental. I think this is more mental than anything. I think this whole thing is way more mental than anything.
Pandemic. And in some ways, it's only been getting worse. My guest today is Dr. Christine Moutier. She is the Chief Medical Officer for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Dr. Moutier, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Dr. White, for having me on.
Let's start off with some sobering statistics. 48,000 people died of suicide in 2018. 1.4 million attempted suicide in 2018. What's your reaction when you hear those statistics?
Well, Dr. White, the sad news is actually that suicide has been at a level of prevalence that has really been in a state of public health crisis for a long, long time in this nation and even globally. And the trouble is, though, that it is moving in the wrong direction. We know through the CDC's tracking of suicide that since 1999, suicide rates around the country have risen by 35% over the last 20 years. And
I want to know what you all think. Why do you all believe suicide numbers are raising? I'm gonna let y'all hear their reason, but if you in this chat, you know how we do. We like to keep these lives not in short but interactive. I want y'all to share in the chat, why do you all think that these suicide numbers have went up so much in the last 20 years? I mean, 35%, that is crazy. That is crazy high.
The thing is, though, that science is shedding so much light on what not only drives suicide risk, but what can prevent suicide. And we're realizing that suicide, while complex, is a complex health outcome. And that means that there are prevention strategies and moments in time when it's really important to intervene, to support a loved one, to see a mental health professional. So we're learning so much more about that. And now it's time to implement more of that.
Well, how is the COVID pandemic impacting efforts at suicide prevention, including people's thoughts around suicide? There was a statistic reported today about suicide climbs much higher in rural communities right now than urban communities. Is it this feeling of helplessness, hopelessness, lonely?
Now she's about to answer why, but I'm already seeing some good answers. People saying isolation, people saying loneliness. Somebody said television promoting suicide. That's a good one. That is a good one. A lot of shows these days, when you watch the briefing of the show at the beginning, a lot of these shows saying suicide now. People saying money. Somebody saying it's witchcraft. A lot of people saying fear. I think all of those answers are right. Somebody said social media. I think all of that's right. Let's see what the reason they're going to give here.
Yes. Well, what do you think is driving it with the COVID pandemic?
Right. I mean, suicide, we know from the science, is multifactorial. And so that means that there are always going to be several things that come together, almost like a perfect storm, that lead people to feel hopeless and desperate. And
now you hear that word perfect storm, right? She said almost like a perfect storm. It's always a collective amount of things. There's always diverse reasons why people end up committing suicide. You heard that same thing with Donald Trump said, hey, you know, we got a storm coming. So that goes further into how these things are planned. It's like, I don't know what type of witches, sorcerers, magicians, and psychologists, because that's what most psychologists are. I don't know what type of plan. I don't know. They understood how everything they would do would affect the people. It's like they totally understand, because again, 5 months ago, the news aired that suicide was going to go up 50%.
Potentially suicidal. And with COVID, what we know are the likely sort of obvious threats to a population suicide risk, and also to vulnerable individuals as well. And those are, in fact, as you mentioned, things like being isolated, even if it's physically, presents new
isolation, house arrest, lockdown, aka lockdown.
Challenges, right? To feel
Let me tell you something. When you're on lockdown, quarantine, if you're in the prison system and you get thrown in a hole and you on lockdown 23 hours out of the day and can't go out, that does something to your mind psychologically. You know, that it snaps into something else. And they already understood this.
Connected and to stay connected to loved ones and sense of purpose and meaning. But there are so many other things too. The virus itself began as an unclear but then increasingly clear threat. But didn't understand everything about the virus from a scientific and clinical standpoint. So that level of uncertainty about has raised the level of anxiety for many, many Americans. And of course,
as you can see, they just interrupted the stream. We getting into something, y'all.
Already to let moments like this that are extremely challenging.
Y'all make sure y'all hit the thumbs up on this chat, because you see how they do. When the truth come out, the truth come out. Let me just catch you up to what she said. She said isolation and uncertainty are the formidable challenges for this suicide numbers going up. But I'm gonna put this in a whole new perspective. She also pointed out the fact that there's so much uncertainty regarding the nature of this virus. Let me just say this directly. Out of uncertainty, you will be committing suicide even if you're going to look for help. Even if you're going to look for help in regards to this sickness, you will be chasing the suicide because of uncertainty. Now, you're going to have to think on that one right there, brothers and sisters. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Somebody said paganism and witchcraft through various mediums, mainly screens. Second Exodus is coming. Children of the Most High come out of the beast system. Thank you for that. Yeah, y'all see what they tried to do. They always trying to stop the momentum of these live streams. Hit the thumbs up, y'all. Hit the thumbs up. We got more sources to go to. But just to quantify what was said about suicide numbers went up, and I want to say some encouraging words for people who may be feeling at a lost place right now and may be suicidal. Because, you know, I want to speak against suicide. That is never the answer. That is never the answer. I've actually spoke on this topic before. You know, I've actually had a co-worker that attempted suicide, and I worked in the firearms industry for a number of years. We had a former employee tried to shoot themselves in the head, you know, not at the job, but they did it at home, and they survived, and they'll never be the same again. You know, they blew half their face off, and it's just something that is never the answer. Like, no matter how rough it gets, no matter how, you know, no matter how abysmal the world looks, no matter how much isolation or uncertainty that you have, that's never the answer. And I find it necessary to say that to a lot of targeted individuals in this world, because nobody likes targeted individuals, people who have been victims of gang stalking, isolation, neighborhood mobbing, street theater, workplace mobbing, internet mobbing, just people being ganged up on and harassed. Listen, these people understand, you know, because it's a very tough road, but it's always light at the end of that tunnel. The Most High God is always with us. So I just want to say some encouraging words for people who may be on that at that place where it's like, man, I don't know what to do. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to feel like that nobody understands you. You just like, nobody can get you. I know what it's like to just feel anxiety all the time, to feel guilt, to feel shame, to have things that haunt you from your past. I know what it's like to have your childhood haunt you. You understand? Like, that's a bad place to go. It almost feel like the walls are closing in and you ain't got nowhere to run. So, you know, you in my prayers, and hopefully you watching this good word is medication for you to understand that there's people who understand and been there right with you. So let me just put that out there when we speaking about suicide. But anyway, we're going to go to some more sources. Now, y'all remember earlier in this video, for those who didn't catch it, there was a brief clip of Donald Trump saying that BLM is a Marxist organization. All right? Some of y'all may have heard that. Some of y'all may have not heard that, but I'm going to show you that they, in fact, are trained Marxists. And I'm going to let you hear it from the horse's mouth. Okay? And I find this more than necessary because this is another faction, another device from Satan that's operating here on this earth right now that's causing a lot of confusion. And we got to understand the dynamics of these organizations that's sent straight from hell to cause division and confusion. We got to break that down. Anytime we're talking about accepting truth in a world of confusion, we got to break down these organizations. Now, let's go there. Now, my source right here is from the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation. And this is another YouTube channel. The Heritage Foundation. All right. And this video is called BLM's Leftist Agenda Has Little to Do with Black Lives. The Heritage Foundation. Now, I want y'all to hear this out and I'm going to react to it.
Many see the slogan Black Lives Matter, or BLM, as a noble plea for equal treatment under the law. It's a cry to secure the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for everyone. But what does the Black Lives Matter organization actually stand for? To find out, look no further than their leaders, Alicia Garza, Opal Tometi, and Patrisse Cullors. Here's Cullors in a revealing 2015 interview.
We actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
Whoa, wait. She said we are trained Marxists. Didn't she just say we trained Marxists? So when Donald Trump said that's a Marxist organization, he didn't lie. She just said they trained Marxists. Listen, a lot of y'all may not know what Marxism is, so let me pull up the meaning of it, and we're gonna finish that clip there. All right, let's talk about Marx. Karl Marx. Let's talk about Karl Marx, and we're going to Britannica. All right, I'm going to Britannica so you can see what Marxism is. That's my source, Britannica. All right, it says Marx argues that the development of capitalism is accompanied by increasing contradictions. For example, the introduction of machinery is profitable to the individual capitalist because it enables him to produce more goods at a lower cost. But new techniques are soon taken up by the competitors. So it's a blatant contradiction to business and economy. All right, now listen carefully. The outlay for machinery grows faster than the outlay for wages, since only labor can produce the surplus value from which profit is derived. The means that is capitalist rate of profits on the total outlay tend to decline. Along with the declining rate of profit goes an increase in unemployment. An increase in unemployment. All right? So it's a principle to basically plummet and crash the economy using something that's hypocritical in its nature. Like you'll have, let me give you an example, and this is just a Marxist principle here. Let's say you create a certain machinery that can't produce a certain product as fast as people can produce, but you're saying that this can help cut prices. But then again, you're not meeting the requirements. Therefore, that business is declining. It is rapidly falling. All right. That's one of the principles. But let's go. It says, this means that the capitalist rate of profit on the total outlay tends to decline. Along with the declining rate of profit goes an increase in unemployment. Thus, the equilibrium of the system is precarious, subject as the internal pressures resulting from its own development. Crisis, shake it up, regular intervals, preludes to the general crisis that will sweep it away. This instability is increased by the formation of a reserve army of workers. So it's all about instability. It's all about causing problems. It's preludes. It's chaos. Everything is already staged. Everything is already planned to cause something to decline. All right. It says, the equilibrium of the system is precarious subject as it to the internal pressures resulting from its own development. Crisis shake it up in regular intervals. Preludes to the general crisis that will sweep it away. The instability is increased by the formation of a reserve army of workers, but factory workers and peasants, whose participation, perilization keep increasing. Capitalist production develops the technique and the combination of process of social production only by exhausting at the same time the two sources. Wow. It says, also says, of social production only by exhausting at the same time two sources from which all wealth springs, the earth and the workers. According to Marxist dialect, these fundamental contradictions can only be resolved by a change from capitalism to a new system. Yes. So anytime you see Marxist policies or Marxist theories or principles being released on the public, it's to decline the old system through chaos and start a new system. So all that talk about the economy crashing, you can point your finger at these Marxists causing chaos, causing businesses to fall. You see buildings burning, people burning down small businesses, and they're doing this in intervals as well. That's why you still see people protesting, rioting, and looting till this day. All right, I just wanted to point that out and give you the real educated resource on what a Marxist is, because Karl Marx, he got his theories from a lot of places, but those theories are to cause chaos. All right, now let's finish this clip here.
Logical frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
Visit the Black Lives Matter website and read the list of demands to get a sense of how deep a transformation they seek. One of those demands proclaims, quote, "We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another."
Whoa, wait, hold up. Yo. Let me read the rest of what this gentleman didn't read on the Black Lives Matter website. And this one, I'm catching this just for the first time, right? I didn't even notice this. But I want y'all to hear what's on their website. This gonna catch you off guard here. It says, "We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure." They're going against the family structure. Number one, requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another. So you're getting rid of traditional family. Your war is against traditional family, man, woman, child. Watch this. Especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. We foster a queer affirmation network. We foster a queer affirming network. When we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking. So your war is against people who think straight? Moment of silence. Who would have ever thought that all the money that you have donated to Black Lives Matter, millions upon millions of dollars, was to go against people who think with heteronormative behavior? Who would have ever thought that all your finances that you donated was to make sure people can live like village people and completely get rid of what they call heteronormative thinking? They want to free themselves from heteronormative thinking. So all you sisters who looking at brothers like, oh, he's handsome. Black Lives Matter don't like that. All you brothers that's looking at sisters like, dang, she fine as a mug, bro. Dang, she thick. Black Lives Matter don't like that. So the war is not essentially against police brutality, right? The war is against heteronormative thinking. Like, what the hell's going on, y'all? Accepting the truth in a world of confusion. We foster queer affirming networks. When we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking. So look, my straightness put a tight grip on them freeing themselves. My thought process and my thought patterns that I want my female child to marry a male child when they grow up, of course, my female to grow up and marry a male, my male sons to grow up and marry a female. That thought process is causing you problems. How? How? Now, when we seen George Floyd, when we seen him die by the hands of a police officer, and everybody got in an uproar, and everybody just flipped out, ran outside and started tearing people's cars up and acting a fool, did you ever think for a second that this would be the result? That all along this was about people who want to live a certain lifestyle? Now, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, nobody's harming these people. Hate crimes have declined over the years. Nobody's harming these people. Nobody gives a damn about what's going on in their bedroom. It's your bedroom. You do whatever the hell you would like to do in your bedroom. That's not our business. We just want to do what we're going to do with our families. You leave your lifestyle over there, and we'll have our lifestyles. We'll raise our families. We'll procreate. We'll create life. And we'll just live our lives. That's a damn shame, bro. I didn't even know that was on their website. I mean, it's right there in our faces. All you got to do is go on their website. Go on their website and read it. It's right there. So if you still walking around with your BML shirt, BML hat out here marching. Now listen, I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around how somebody's sexual preference has to do with this fight for quote unquote equality. I'm just having a hard time. Having a hard time wrapping my mind around that. Straight up.
For one another. We can't be certain, but it's hard to believe this radical agenda is what most signed up for when they made that hashtag Black Lives Matter social media post, or that every employee, customer, or shareholder at Nike endorses a disruption of the family.
What?
Garza first coined the phrase in 2013.
Hold up, man. This is deep right here, bro. What in the world's going on, y'all? Hold on. Back.
Garza first coined the phrase in 2013.
Wait. This is getting a little bit more sinister. Y'all. It says, hold on, let me play this.
Garza first coined the phrase in 2013, the day George Zimmerman was acquitted of murdering Trayvon Martin. Her friend Colors added the hashtag and joined the words so it could travel through social media. Tometi created the digital platform blacklivesmatter.com. According to Robert Stilson of the Capital Research Center, The group became a self-styled global network in 2014 and a fiscally sponsored project of a separate progressive nonprofit in 2016. This evolution has helped embolden an agenda vastly more ambitious than a national defunding of police. The goals of the Black Lives Matter organization go far beyond what most people think.
And let me just say this, look, with all the chaos that's going on in the streets right now, if we actually defund the police, all hell's gonna break loose. Straight up, all hell is gonna break loose. It's so much black on black crime going on in our community right now. While everybody worried about Tory Lanez supposedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion, there's children being shot every single day right now. But these organizations are not covering that. They're not speaking on that because it don't fit their narrative. I'm telling you right now, if they defund the police, I hope that you armed and ready. I really hope that you armed and ready for what's to come, straight up.
They're hiding in plain sight, there for the world to see. If only we read beyond the slogans and the summaries of the movement they helped to create. It's a distinction with a profound difference. Their radical Marxist agenda is bent on supplanting the basic building blocks of society, the family, replacing it with the state, and destroying the economic system that has lifted more people from poverty than any other. Theirs is a blueprint for misery, not justice. It must be rejected.
I mean, like that whole slogan is just degrading, man. All of that is just that's something else right there, y'all. That's something else right there. But it has come the time to open up the lines. I know I went in on this live for some time. If you've been on standby, is your opportunity to call in. When you call in, you're gonna be talking about some of the persecutions you went through walking in this truth. If you're having a hard time accepting the truth because of the opinions of others, I'm here to coach you through this walk. This is what this platform is here for, to encourage each other, to build each other up. If you call in tonight, you can share your testimony on how you've been persecuted for spreading the truth in regards to any of the topics that we spoke about, because we shined the light on a lot of things that's happening in the world. If you have tried to tell the people, warn the people, when you face persecution, let me know. If you are afraid to be a part of that 10% of people who is going to stand up at the end and show some courage, and you just need a little bit of encouragement, call through. And the number is in the description box, ladies and gentlemen. We got 602 in a building. That's what's up. People are steady coming in. Right on time for the call-ins. Please, y'all, hit the thumbs up so we can allow more people to come in. And because this is the time where people can get a lot of questions answered that they would like to know and all of that. So I don't know if I have any moderators in here, but if I don't, the number is 470-363-1168. And it's also in the description box. Yeah. All right. New Jersey, you on the line. You're live. How you doing? Hey,
what's up, New Breed, man?
I'm doing good, brother. Make sure you turn it down in the background, though.
Hold on, real quick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. What would you like to share with the people?
My man. Just want to say, man, I appreciate you, bro. I watch you like real awesome, man. Real awesome, bro. You really doing your thing out there.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. All praises to the Most High. Can you hear me, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Dang, it's kind of hard to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, great. So what kind of testimony would you like to share? Is it a testimony, or is it some encouraging words, or are you struggling yourself accepting the truth, or have you accepted the truth, spoke the truth, and got backlash for it? What's going on? And I just lost Jersey. Not sure what happened. Jersey got disconnected. Omarion Slaughter sharing the number. All right, now we got a call from North Carolina. North Carolina, you on the line. You're live.
Yeah, hey, Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hold on, let me turn the volume up. I'm hearing a little bit of interference.
Okay, is it better now?
That's better, that's better. How you doing?
I'm nervous, but I'm glad to be able to speak to you on this topic.
Great, great. No need to be nervous. You know, we gotta face this world every day. You know, I know that's enough to be nervous about, but hey, we encouraging each other and we pushing through. What would you like to share with us?
I really I could speak on a little bit of every topic that you brought up tonight, but I want to start with a testimony. And I just want to say, you know, all praises to the Most High for one, being awakened to the truth. That's the first thing I want to say. I count it as an honor and a blessing, you know, to be able to see the things that the Most High is allowing us to see, and I don't take it lightly. But tonight, I just really think that this topic is very important, and I'm going to try to combine everything. I'm not going to speak long because I know there's a lot of people that probably want to say a lot of things. But as a child of the Most High right now, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just really want to say to everyone that is out there struggling like myself, you know, it's really not easy, not complaining or whatever, but it's just really not easy knowing the truth, and I'm trying to share it in a world full of darkness. It's not popular, it's not acceptable, and I'm sure we all know that, you know, but I'm one of the ones, I consider myself to be strong in the Lord, and I consider myself to try to be positive, and, you know, I was so excited. I still am, and always will be, you know, to come into the truth of the Most High. I was brought up Christian or whatever, so the conversion, the past 4 years that I've been in, since I found the truth, it's been shocking. It's been the most shocking information that I knew. I thought I knew God, but to come and find out that I didn't know Him in the way that I thought, you know, it's totally changed.
Hey, let me ask you, how long have you been in the truth?
How long what?
Have you been in the truth?
October, well, yeah, I just made 4 years. Like in the middle of October, I just made 4 years.
Hey, listen, let me say this.
Coming to the truth, so I'll pray to the Most High for that.
That's something to be applauded, that you've been in this truth for 4 years and you were still excited about the awakening. You still have that love and that fervent spirit for this truth. And listen, that's important. That is very important. Because listen, being
I
great.
really appreciate it. I can't help but be excited about it. I was lost. I was lost. Okay, since you said that, I appreciate it. So I just want to say on a positive note to all of us that are out there that are excited, it's the enemy's goal to steal the life. You don't try to, and to try to discourage us. And I'm speaking from experience, much experience when I say this. I was born a leader. I was chosen a leader by the Most High. And when I was in the Christian faith, you know, my family growing up, I was always considered a leader, and I was always one that my family would come to whenever I would say the Most High showed me something. I didn't know to call him the Most High at that time, or, you know, spoke anything to me, or just point out just what I see is plain truth, you know. And
well, let me ask you this, because
to it, but once I came into the truth of the Most High, I just thought everyone would be just as excited.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just as excited as I was and still am, because I know that this is the truth, the complete truth that I've been looking for, that I was seeking my whole life, and was blessed to be brought into through Hebrew music. I'm blessed to say, I'm encouraged to say that, because He taught me exactly where I was, you know, and It hasn't been easy, but I just want to say on the topic of what you were speaking on, you spoke on so many amazing things, New Breed. You spoke on, so as always, I love this channel. I've watched it faithfully. I try to share it as much as possible. I try to share it every time we come on. I really do.
Thank you.
I just want to say to everyone, just be encouraged. Just be encouraged. We're chosen and we're blessed. And I think one of the most important things I had to realize about this journey is, and I think I've heard you say this before, if not, forgive me, but I just really want to say that if we're chosen, there's a lot of family members that I've had, I'm going to just be honest and say, I've had to walk away from everyone. Well, that's the sad part, and that's the part that breaks my heart right now, because this walk has cost me everything. It honestly has, and it really has cost me everyone. Besides my 16-year-old right now that I know and love, and as strong as I am, that's hard in the natural. That's very hard to deal with. Come from a very close-knit family, and many people that were considered friends of the natural. But this walk is going to cost us something, you know?
All right. Hey, and, absolutely. But let me say this, sister.
Everything watching your channel, New Breed, that I guess at this point it's just a blessing to be chosen.
Okay,
and
thank
to know
you,
that
sis.
It's not going to be easy, but
hey, can you hear me, sis? Can you hear me?
Like yours, that's what I'm so thankful for.
Hey, sis, can you hear me?
We're going to make it through it. And
can you hear me?
I appreciate you for taking my call.
Oh, absolutely, sis. Yeah, we going on. We got so many calls, but I do thank you for coming through and sharing all of that positivity for the people. That is very important, to love the truth, because the truth will set you free. But thank you, sister. I'm going to go to a few more calls. Thank you for your call.
It has me too. God bless.
Bless you.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to keep the calls to around 3 minutes, y'all. You got 3 minutes, so go ahead and get it out. Florida, you're on the line. All right. So listen, when you call in, you got to make sure that the volume is turned down in your background. All right. And make sure you're ready. Louisiana, you're on the line.
Hello?
Listen, y'all, I'm going to say this again. If you calling in, turn it down in the background. Arizona, you on the line.
New Breed.
What's good with you, bro?
It's all good, man. Water is water, but it's a whole lot going on under the surface.
For sure. You got a testimony for us, brother, walking this truth?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna say this year I really got into the truth. You know what I'm saying? I've been in my King James. I've been in both Bibles real hard. You know what I'm saying? This brother from the tribe of Easter Core has put me on a lot of information and knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing my research and my homework, and everything makes sense. You feel me? And I've been persecuted every other day, all types of situations. Them poisoning my food, trying to set me up. The helicopters on me, man, because I know what I'm doing is the righteous thing. And I be making these signs. Like the other day I made a sign with Corinthians on it. They took it down, so I know they knew what it is, you know what I'm saying? They trying to corrupt us and bamboozle us and have us all miscombobulated, you feel me? And we living in the righteous way.
Right. Hey, but you got to keep your head up and keep enduring to the end, brother. You know,
all the way. You already know that, you know what I'm saying? I just want to appreciate you for listening to me, you know what I'm saying? If you get time to check it out, is my YouTube account 78105 BCYZ, all one word. You'll see how they came pulled up on me and everything, you know what I'm saying, persecute me, but like you said, you know what I'm saying, all the way to the end. Ain't no folding, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it bold and make sure we live in the power of the Most High.
No doubt. I'll check you out for sure, brother. And that's what it is, man. I'm glad to see you, brother. It sounds like you said this year you just came into this truth, right?
Yeah, put it like this, I've been on and off throughout my years, but 2020, you know what I'm saying, I had a near life death situation. And I think one of my angels came through and came got me out that situation. And I also had these dreams, you know what I'm saying? I saw the Most High, not saying I saw his face, but I felt the presence in the shadow, you know what I'm saying? And I say, bro, thank you for putting out these videos, walking in the power, you know what I'm saying? Teaching us and giving us all this information, man. It all makes sense in the long run. All this gang stalking, being a targeted individual, because we doing the righteous thing in this wicked world, which, like they say, television. The truth won't be televised, but it'll be broadcast, you know what I'm saying? And we getting the word and waking up a lot of people. And I just want to say thank you for waking me up, brother. And
man,
put all this game and this information out for the Most High, you know what I'm saying? All glory goes to the Most High.
Man, all praises. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And I appreciate your encouraging words. And, you know, thank you for having ears to hear and eyes to see. And just make sure, brother, as you in this walk, man, you share your testimony with as many people as you can, and you apply what you learn to your life, man, and do what's right for you and your family, put provisions in place for you and your family, and survive this. We got to endure, we got to survive, we got to be together, and we got to be in the spirit of love with all of this, for sure.
And that's the highest frequency, you know what I'm saying? This is the last thing I want to say, because I know it's many of the callers. This is all I want everybody to know who listens and on the videos. Don't ask God for a lighter load. Just ask for a stronger back. We all gonna make it.
Absolutely. Definitely, brother. That was encouraging, family. Thank you for your call. Appreciate you.
For sure, man. Look, today the best day ever, tomorrow gonna get better. Shalom and peace.
All right, shalom. That brother got a strong spirit right there. We got a call from Florida. Florida, you on the line?
Hey.
Hey, could you make sure
I can, I'm connecting my computer.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
What's that?
So, what do you want to know?
Okay, so the call-ins this evening is...
I would like to know what you would want to know.
All right, I'm about to tell you. The call-ins this evening is for your testimonies in accepting this truth in a confusing world. What have you been through? Have you been one who have taught the truth?
Those are two totally opposite things. But what have I been through? What have I not been through? But anything like icky.
Hang up. Next caller.
You tell me.
No. If you ain't walking this walk, don't call. West Virginia, you on the line. You on the line. You're live. Oh, Puerto Rico. You're live. You're on the line.
Okay, what's going on, brother? What's going on?
Pretty good, family. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm blessed. How about yourself?
Oh, hey, highly favored, man. Blessed. Thankful for the Most High waking us up. And brothers coming into this truth, sisters coming into this truth. So how long you been in the truth? What have you been through? Or are you having a problem accepting the truth? I mean, we doing a pretty broad spectrum on tonight's call-in. So whatever you would like to share with the people, you got it, my brother.
So as far as I've been in the truth, you know, I've been in the Bible all my life, but I really woke up to who I was, I would say last year. So about a year I've been, you know, knowing I was an Israelite.
Right.
But as far as, you know, persecution, what I've been through, you know, I said, man, the system crashed down hard on me, man. I'm homeless, you know, I live in my truck. I got the police, you know, ride by there, flash. You know, I talked to the police about 3-4 times in an hour. You know, it'd be the same police harassing me. You know, noise campaigns at 1 o'clock in the morning, even though they have a 10 o'clock curfew. You know, ain't nobody supposed to be out past 10, but you know, that's I feel like that's the Most High with me in shape. You know. So, you know, I try not to do too much complaining. You know, everything happens for a reason, and we still underneath these curses. So, you know, I'm going to smile through it all, you know?
Absolutely, brother. Just know that a man who loses his world, loses his life, gains his life. So everything that so everywhere that you might have been in your life and having all of that stripped from you and taken from you, just know the Most High going to build you up in a stronger foundation. And just know that everything you're dealing with right now is all a test. And to be honest with you, brother, don't be ashamed to ask somebody for help. And I want to tell you that because sometimes you got to do what's necessary. And sometimes it's hard for us to accept and take heed to truth if our stomachs are empty. If we ain't got no food on our stomach to sustain us to hear the truth, then, you know, it is what it is. So I want to put that out there because I've been in that situation before. And sometimes pride can get the better of us as men. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to put it out there that there ain't no shame in asking for help and having to compromise if you have to. You understand? Right. Not saying compromise the truth or the word of the Most High in no way, but compromise your very own pride if you have to. You understand?
Right.
If it's somebody out there that can help you.
That's one thing I've been learning how to do, man. You know, you gotta, Bible says you gotta kill that old man, you know, so, you know, pride gets to us all, man. And it's one thing that as men, I feel like, you know, we'll be blind to, you know, if we're not careful.
Absolutely.
You know, but, yeah, I just called to give my testimony on, you know, basically, you know, even though I'm in my situation, I feel like something better is coming. You know what I'm saying? And that's my overall message I want to spread out there to the people. You know what I'm saying? Look at me in my situation, not the boat, because, you know, if it was another road, you know, trust me, I thought about it previous times, you know, but Most High put me in my situation for a reason. So, you know, to the brothers and sisters out there, you know, that's in a better situation than I'm in. You know, sometimes you gotta look at the blessings and realize that it could be worse.
Absolutely.
It could be worse.
Absolutely. That is some good advice, brother. We got a couple more calls to take in. Thank you for your call. Thank you for your testimony.
Oh, no problem.
Hopefully,
God bless, brother.
You too, family. Have a good one.
Yeah.
We taking 2 more calls this evening. If you want to call in, the number is in the description box. Don't call here on no tomfoolery, because you'll be quickly dismissed. Trust and believe. I learned real quick from my Egyptology live stream to hang up real quick when somebody acting crazy, to read the vibe, read the spirit on a person. All right? Louisiana, you're on the line.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on with you, brother?
Brother, when you're out here and you're walking in truth, there's a lot that's going on. I just wanted to say, I'm definitely proud of you for doing what you do, spreading truth. There's so many people that are lost and they need direction. So looking at your channel, let me know that there are people out here that are willing to take a risk, because it is a risk with these COINTELPRO operations going on to spread the truth. So my hats off to you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. All praises to the Most High.
Yes, indeed. I've gone through the gang stalking, and there's a lot of people that don't understand what gang stalking is, because, you know, COINTELPRO is something that is not taught when we go to school or university, but it is real. It is an ugly secret of America's past, and they want to sweep it underneath the rug, and it have resurfaced. And so those of us who are going through it for spreading the truth, we have to be wise and we have to be woke and aware, because I've noticed even a lot of your callers are calling from districts that are associated with the Department of Homeland Security, and they're just there for disruption. So I wanted to warn you, you know, to perhaps look up those 12 districts, which coincidentally, or maybe not, just so happen to be associated with all the headquarters for the KKK. So there's a lot going on, man, and I just wanted to speak a word and tell you to just keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And I just want to tell you how much of a spiritual warfare this is. And even when it comes to gang stalking, there are organizations out there that plot, plan, and strategize on us all day. But what keeps us safe is these guardian angels that surround us.
Absolutely.
That spiritual realm is so real. It's so real. I mean, the world that we can't see that's among us on a daily basis, hey, we're constantly being protected by warrior angels, by different it's also it's evil spirits that come against us. When the scriptures say we battle not against flesh and blood, but wickedness and principalities, I would say 90% of gang stalking is spiritual and the other 10% is physical. Because whatever we do in the spiritual realm, when we cleave to the Most High God, our protection is there when we under his shadow. So that's one thing I just wanted to put out there, but I definitely appreciate you for looking out and trust and believe. From that advice, I'm gonna be on point and be on my P's and Q's, and I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem, man. And I definitely just appreciate you looking at your videos and being able to glean truth from that, because like I said, there's a whole lot of confusion out here. There's a whole lot of disinformation. And when you do come across the truth, you just know it. You know what I mean? People who have gone to churches looking for truth, and then you go back and wonder, why come nobody ever preaches Lamentations 5 and 10 or 4 and 8 or Jeremiah 14 and 2? You go, these people were black. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And why are preachers purposely skipping over this? And it's because they want to keep us away from the truth. They want to docile us down in religion and not necessarily give us the roadmap to having a relationship with the Most High through his Son.
Absolutely. And a lot of them have sold their souls for filthy lucre, as the scriptures tell us. You know, a lot of them know the truth. And, you know, it's better that they don't know, but they do know. And they won't go to the verses. So that is definitely something that's going on that we can clearly see now. But all praises to the Most High for awakening us.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely. Well, I'm out of here, brother. Pieces and shalom, brother.
All right, shalom, peace. Excuse me. We're going to take one more call, brothers and sisters. New York. You're the last call for this evening. What would you like to share with the people? You're on live.
What's going on, Lou Brady?
Hey, shalom. How are you?
Man, I'm just trying to, I really need some help.
Okay, what's going on?
Basically, it's just life, man. Just want to just believe again. Just so much going on, man.
Okay. So what's going on with you right now, brother?
Just losing family members, everybody that was in my circle. It seemed like a lot going on. It's hard to explain, man, because it's my like third time on the phone doing like talking to a lot of people. So it's kind of difficult.
Okay. So when you say losing family members, do you mean family members passing away or people just, you know?
Yeah, it could be parents, it could be just like 1 minute, everything good. It's like all my close people are on the internet. Maybe on Facebook, Instagram, but in real life, everybody just doing their own thing.
Okay, how old are you, my brother?
28.
You said 28 or 48?
28.
28, okay. All right, now, the community that you grew up in, were you there your whole life?
Yeah, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, but right now I'm in New York.
Okay, so you from Atlanta. So you moved away from all, so basically you got away from all of your family members and moved out on your own to New York?
Yeah, basically trying to live off this false dream. I got here, that's when it just seemed like the whole world just started collapsing. You know what I'm saying? I just tried to find myself because the people I did have in my city, it just felt like nobody really kept. Since I came to New York, that's when everybody started, you know what I'm saying, like, started asking about me. And it's kind of scary because I'm like,
when I was there, I didn't have this much support.
That's how it is, brother. You know, you got to understand, some people, they try to keep spiritual strongholds over you. And when you leave and they realize that that grip is slipping away, that's when they want to come back. But you went out there on a mission. What was your mission when you went out in New York?
It was actually like, because I like music, you know what I'm saying? I always been a fan of the city. So I just knew it would get time just to go wander in the world by myself. And I felt like the only how I'm going to be closer to God, I knew it's like, the only how I'm going to be closer to God if I just move on my own. Because when I'm around my people, it's like nobody get me, you know, women, everybody. Like, I always been talking about my whole life. But it's like, even with the stuff going on now with the coronavirus, I just feel a thrill off this. Like, I'm like, you know what? You're supposed to happen. Because I get all over the line just for my walk. And I hate to think like that, but that's how I be feeling.
Well, let me just say some words of encouragement for you, brother. Number one, let me just put it out here, man. I'm going to have you in my prayers this evening. And number two, let me just encourage you here. Listen, in this time, the Most High is going to divide the wheat from the tare. All right? He says in his word, if you love mother or father, sister or brother, son or daughter more than me, you're not worthy of me. You know, he come to divide. So you may have to stand on your own sometimes. You may have.
It's sad, man. It really breaks me, man, because I don't put a lot of people before me and God, because I really didn't know God, because it's like I don't even trust people, because the same people that tell me about God, they're the same people doing me wrong. You see what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to get a grip on who God is.
But
I know He exists. I know He exists. I just don't know what. God.
All right, let me finish here. Let me finish talking to you. Let me break this down for you, brother. All right, so you went to New York because you wanted to get away from family, correct? Let me ask you that.
Now it's like I miss them. See what I'm saying?
Okay, listen.
But
let me say this.
I feel like that it's not the same way. It's not the same love because there's no support. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I felt like I had to leave out so they can miss me so I can feel that love back because I wasn't getting that when I was down there.
Right. No, I totally understand where you at. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to really pray for direction, my brother. The Bible tells you when you seek understanding, when you seek counsel from the Most High, he'll reveal those answers to you. I promise you he will. You got to understand the power of prayer. Because right now you on your Damascus road. You in your spot in the wilderness right now. And he's making it so you can only rely on him. Something made you leave family to get away because either you were hurt by them or you wanted to see if you can make it on your own. Sometimes the direction may be to put your pride to the side, go back home, but still don't deal with nobody. Because sometimes you don't have to do stuff to prove a point to others. You know, you leave. Sometimes we do stuff to be vindictive. We'll leave, oh, y'all ain't support me, I'm going all the way across to here. Sometimes you ain't got to do all that. Sometimes you got to unplug mentally and spiritually from people and start seeking counsel from the Most High. Not saying that that's the decision you got to make. That decision ultimately is up to the Most High. But now that you got this time of isolation, that's when the Most High going to be dealing with you the most, brother. Now that you by yourself, he wants you to go to him. Even me on YouTube and any other person out on the outside, they can't give you the answers. That's why you separate. Yeah. That's why you separated from everybody.
Yeah, it's very.
You understand?
That's why I called you because I watch your videos all the time and I'm like, yo, he in Atlanta. I just left. Like I be sending you like I'm on your Instagram and everything. So I go to your videos and kind of like what I'm going through because I feel like when I don't got nobody to talk to, I was like, yo, let me hear what you got to say. You know what I'm saying on a certain topic.
Absolutely, brother. Well,
it's like certain humans, man. It's like everybody just doing their own. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is the time where people should come together, but you know, people ain't doing it.
Right. Well, send me an email, brother. The email, I'm going to leave it in the description box, but it's kingbreed404@gmail.com. I'm going to see if I can link you in with some other brothers and stuff like that. I'm gonna reach out and ask around and see if we got some brothers out there in the faith that you may can link up with, and we'll go from there. And for the meantime, in between time, keep your head up. Use your time in isolation to really practice prayer. You want to know who the Most High is? You want to know who the Most High is? You got to call out to him while you in your time of isolation. All right. But thank you for your call, brother. Hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully this helped you out, my brother. Love. All right. Peace. All right. The brother sounded like he's getting in higher spirits after the call, which is a blessing. All praises to the Most High. Well, that was the last call for this evening. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this stream. Y'all know how we do on Friday nights. I got a couple quick announcecements before I close out, though. For those who don't follow me on Patreon, definitely follow me on Patreon at patreon.com/newbreed. For little as $3 a month, you can get access. You can set your own tier and get access. Also follow me on Instagram. If you would like to send donations, I do accept donations. It helps with the work. I'm about to update all my equipment. I'm about to get a good camera. I mean, because I got to really invest in some better equipment. I just have not had the finances to get that equipment. And that's what it will go towards. I want to get some legit studio quality stuff. I want it to help my music and my videos. So I do take donations at Cashapp, $newbreed404. Also, all you brothers and sisters in the truth, I got one more announcement. What is it? Oh, there we go. The Rise of the Tribe event on Inside the Nation Radio. I will be on the show on the 30th. That'll be the finale, and I'll be on there. So make sure, if you're not subscribed to Inside the Nation Radio, the Rise of the Tribes music event, if you're not there, go subscribe. I'm going to be there on the 30th. It's going to be fire. It's going to be a lot of good Hebraic music being played, and hopefully y'all can catch it. But all in all, as always, I love y'all. If this helped you with your walk and your journey, make sure you share this video. All right, share it everywhere. Share it everywhere. If you could take pieces of the video and share it, share it. All right, do what you got to do. Anyway, I love y'all. Thank y'all. Have a blessed evening. Shalom and peace.